In a recent stream, guys, it was Hiko, a member for the 100 Thieves Valorant team, talking about Valorant pros retiring or quitting competitive for now to pursue streaming and content creation. This coming within a day of TenZ for Cloud9, while removing himself from the Cloud9 Blue roster, which is suffering a lot with their losses thus far, and especially with a guy like TenZ being one of the best in the entire world of Valorant, him taking a step back to pursue content creation, of which he has now noted he might be taking a step back in later down the road. It's actually Hiko giving comment on maybe other pros and players in general doing the same thing, and he doesn't see it being very easy for TenZ to come back if he takes too long of a break.
Let's talk about. There is something I was thinking about. Oh, somebody said, "Can you? What are your takes on the TenZ situation?" This is more of a question for the bigger picture of being a streamer versus being a pro. I think that most people these days know that you can make a lot more money and your life is a lot less stressful being a streamer than being a pro. You don't have to worry about tournaments. You don't really have to practice. You don't have teammates that rely on you. You don't have a schedule you have to make. You know, people aren't, if like yesterday, there's a big content patch that came out. I would have loved to be able to stream it, but we had practice. So there's no doubt that the streamer life is not only more financially rewarding. You make way more money being a streamer to begin with, but then also your just life in general just has way less stress. You don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff. So, you know, I personally think every individual has a different prerogative and a different desire in life, whether that's, you know, do they want to make money, do they want to, you know, actually play pro, do they like the competition, do they want to be able to travel to tournaments, there's all this kind of stuff. And I think with me, it's, you know, if I didn't have the drive and the desire to actually be a pro, I wouldn't, especially at 30, almost 31. So each person's different. I'm not retiring. It's not what we're just talking about. TenZ, I don't know if you missed it, but TenZ announced that he stepped down from Cloud9's competitive roster, so he's going to be a full-time streamer for now, I guess, until he comes back, apparently. But yeah, I mean, I can't blame him. If I was in his shoes, it would be a consideration for myself as well, especially if I wasn't, you know, super excited or super happy about being a pro and having all these kind of responsibilities. I do think it's a little weird though that I think it's, I don't want to use the word weird, but I think it's just an interesting situation that a lot of people see him as one of the best players in maybe even the world, at least in the US. His aim is insane and his mechanics are really, really good, and he's just so far ahead of everybody. I feel like him retiring right now, it'll be, if he stays retired for like too long, it'll be too hard for him to come back. The meta's going to change. I mean, playing on a team is just so much different than just playing comp. So yeah, if I had a recommendation for TenZ, I'd say, you know, I get it. I know you, I understand the wants to step down and not play competitively, but if he wants to come back, don't wait too long. I would hate for him, for somebody that's as young as he is and as good as he is, to kind of like waste away his career by, you know, trying to take his time to decide if he even wants to come back.
And I think Hiko's really addressing a lot of the things that we have thought about before. I think about Hiko himself. He even mentions himself as an iconic example. Once he loses, or if he did not have the desire to compete as a pro player, he probably too would go the streaming route because it's a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more stressful, I imagine. And what he says, you can make a lot more money pursuing that instead for a longevity standpoint. You look towards Hiko or Jason R, NRG, ACU, he certainly would have a career there. And now a guy like TenZ choosing streaming and content creation over competing, to a lot of eyes out there, it does make sense. It does draw the ultimate question though. Will TenZ come back? If he does come back, will he still be competitive? to which Hiko does note, yes, of course, his aim will always be there, but the meta, especially throughout early 2021 and into Valorant, is going to continue to be changing quite heavily compared to most esports out there. Given its newness to esports in general, we will see if TenZ does come back, but Hiko addresses something that a lot of us are thinking about, that streaming for a lot of people is easier and maybe the better option than competing in esports. What do you guys think? Till next time, hope you guys all enjoy, right? Take a sip of Juan Ka. I'll catch you back here in the next one. Take care.